Hey guys, this is Sharat with ReSimpli, bringing you a long-time ReSimpli user, Jeremy Smith, on this call to share his experience using ReSimpli. Jeremy, welcome to our call. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being on the call. Tell us about yourself. Where do you live? What market do you invest in, and what kind of investing do you do?
Sure. So we do, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. The markets that we focus are Memphis, Tennessee, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Tampa, Florida. So we may do a little bit in Chattanooga, Tennessee here and there, but those are our major focus markets. We do everything from wholesaling to fix and flips, and now we're putting our hands into the new construction world. So that's kind of our
Nice.
focus right now.
And how long have you been investing for?
3.5 years now. Yeah.
3.5. Nice, man. Congrats on all the success. What's your current team size?
So we've actually I'll say from the wholesale side, we've downsized a little bit, just market trends. We have 3 people on our staff right now. We have one VA and one acquisitions, one disposition person, along with, I'm sorry, a TC and myself. So that's 5 people total. Yeah, so that's
Got it.
on our wholesale acquisition side of things, and then of course on the contractory side, we've got a good GC crew, which makes up like 10 people. So
Do you mind sharing how many deals are you doing per month or per year? Totally cool if you're not comfortable with that.
yeah, and I'm a straight shooter, so kind of been up and down this year, as you guys, anyone who knows or pays attention to the market knows, kind of market's been weird. So we've been averaging probably 2 to 3 deals a month over the last 6 months,
Yeah.
which is it's decent. It's not as strong as it used to be. Before we saw the market trend and change a little bit, we were averaging probably 6 deals a month.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a weird market this year. You kind of don't know what kind of deals you want to buy, what do you want to do. So
hmm
I'd like to be able to do 2 to 3 deals a month. And then as the market changes, I think you're positioned really well.
I think one of the things that we've
Yeah.
done relatively well, if I look at like last month, I think we did 3 deals last month, but we did wholesale deals, and I think that month we probably had like 98K in wholesale fees off
Oh,
three
wow.
deals. So
That's really good.
that was good. That's positive, right? So we
Yeah.
may not do as many deals, and sometimes I think people get so caught up in the deal size, whereas for us, we're more so looking at, well, how much can we make off a deal? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I would rather do 3 deals and make 100K than do five or 6 deals and only make 50. So it just
Yeah.
depends on what you're looking at.
Absolutely. What are some of the marketing channels you're using in your business?
So right now we're focusing more on the PPC, PPL approach. We've kind of got away from the SMS text messaging. We've went
Yeah.
back to using a lot of things as work, reaching out to realtors using our network. That's been pretty
Okay.
strong for us too. So right now, PPC, PPL, Realtor Network, and really working our warm leads. We've got a lot of data, and so what we're doing is kind of working our warm lead database.
Perfect. Yep. There's definitely some, golden nuggets hidden in there. Yeah.
hmm
Right. How long have you been using ReSimpli for?
Going on 2 years now.
2 years. Okay. So you've been investing
Two
for about
years.
three and a
Yeah,
half. Yeah, I think
yeah.
2.5 years. Yeah.
And I take that back. It's 2024. So we were investing 4 years. So I think the first year and a half we played around with Podio. And I knew, just coming from the background that I came from, that Podio would not be a end spot for us, just because we needed something that was more unified all the way across the board, and we could, customization is great, but if 20 people have customized products, then you don't have anybody to lean on for those
Yeah.
simple questions. So I think it's actually been like 2.5 years we've been with REsimpli.
What were some of the pain points you were facing before moving to ReSimpli?
Some of the pain points we faced, again, being able to have unified conversations. So when I mean unified conversations, being able to be in a group or around a team where we all experience the same type of challenges or success, that was big. I did like the whitewash. A lot of the programs look very whitewashed. Believe it or not, aesthetics matter. So how a CRM tool looks to us, it mattered a lot. So the RE simply was appeasing to the eye. We liked the fact that everything was baked in, it was built in, so we didn't have to go in and add all these different features and different callers and different SMS platforms and different email platforms, and you know what I mean. So it made it easier from an integration standpoint. Initially, the accounting tools was attractive to us, especially when you got to tracking KPIs. So those were some
Absolutely.
of the small things that really kind of attracted us to REsimpli.
And you've been with us for about 2.5 years or so. How was your onboarding process for you and your team?
As far as working with you guys,
Yeah, working with us,
yeah,
switching, transitioning CRMs.
it's easy. It's super
Yeah,
easy because of the plan that we're on. We're able to schedule calls as much as we need to, as many
yeah,
calls as we need to. I think they're very receptive on all sides. You guys do a really good job at being responsive, so that worked out good for us.
yeah,
I think the biggest thing I would tell anyone, and it's just when you're doing a migration from one system to another, even if you go over to one new system, don't cancel the old system yet because
yeah,
you've got to have a transition, kind of a handoff, and you don't want your business to stop. And even once you migrate over to a new system, you want to make sure that it runs properly, it flows properly, and it's in a good space before you completely cut everything off. And that was the one thing that we did, and I think it worked out pretty good for us.
yeah. It's really good advice, man. How has recently helped you achieve your goals in your business?
I think the biggest thing is being able to sort like the warm link drip campaigns have been awesome. Being able to delegate certain tasks to certain people. I always look at it like you don't have to, when you have different roles within your system, everybody doesn't have to see everything that goes on, which is positive. If you're on the acquisition side, you can make it to where you only see acquisition stuff. If you're on the disposition side, you can make it to where you only see disposition stuff. So those small things matter. Being able to use the app is very intuitive. So if you're not by your computer, you can use the app and you can pretty much do the same functionalities for the most part that you would on your laptop that you can do on your phone.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
hmm
And which features of recently do you find the most valuable?
I'm looking forward. I will tell you, I'm looking forward to the dial pad option where we can call out without having to actually have that name and number in the actual system, which is going to be great. I think the website integration is really cool for us. To click the speed to lead feature is also pretty awesome. So yeah, I think that's pretty much some of the things that's really been a game changer, to say the least.
Would you say recently has helped you close more deals?
Yeah, absolutely, without question.
Yeah, thank you,
Just
man.
because you can keep it organized. I think the other piece of this thing is being able to keep it organized and structured. Again, a clean look, being able, when you're doing a lot, when you got a lot of data and you're in different markets, you want to be able to keep everything as clean as possible, right? So, structure, I always say system processes and procedures is everything. So, when you've got those things in place, it makes it a little bit easier to kind of figure out what's going on when you can run those reports and see, what leads are not on drip campaigns, what leads are. Those small things matter.
Absolutely. What are your future goals and how do you see recently playing a role in achieving them?
I would push to say, for us, I think one of the things that we will focus probably more on is the new development side of things because that's kind of where we're going to play. That's going to be a big focus for us. So maybe adding more features for new construction, I think is cool. I think as the market has changed, and it's so funny how the market's changed in the last 2.5 years to where at one point in time, skip tracing was a big thing. Now you can pretty much get skip tracing for free depending on the services and people that you use. So I think I would love in the future to see I know you guys are working on it. AI is a big component. That's one of the things that we really want to focus on in our business. And I think that's some of the things that we're looking forward to in the future is having more AR compatibility there. Also, man, I think just being able to probably utilize more of like your Facebook PPC, PPL features as we go and grow would be something that'd
Absolutely.
be helpful for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We're working with a new PPC provider in our business to test them out. And if they're good, then we're gonna have that template be added to all recently accounts to play around with. So I'm excited about that.
Really, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Is there anything particular about ReSimpli you think sets it apart from other real estate software that you've used or that you're aware of that are available in the market?
I think it's overall just a clean. I know I hate to keep going back to this, but aesthetically,
No,
it's a
I
very
love it.
clean. It's a
I
very
love it.
clean
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
It's not whitewashed, right? It
Right.
it doesn't look like other platforms. It looks very legit. The functionality is easy to use. I love the fact that it's pretty easy to use for a standpoint of even onboarding, right? You don't have to be
Yeah.
you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. You can pretty much go through it and kind of capture everything that you need in an easy space. Even the integration with the email, it's just becoming more and more of a one stop hub, which is always exciting because you don't have to worry about
Mm,
it signing on to so many different tools. Um,
absolutely.
I think the space where for us where the list stacking is becoming more and more important. I think you guys have really upgraded that space of it. So yeah,
Yeah.
overall, I think it's a good product.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeremy. What would you say to someone who's listening to this and is on the fence about using ReSimpli in their business?
I would tell them to give it a try. Again, I'm a straight shooter, right? So I always feel like sometimes I don't have to sell you on something to do it. You just got to know what you want. For me, when I came over to REsimpli, I had tried three other CRM tools beforehand, and there were things that I didn't like on some, and there were some that I didn't like, right? So for me, the pros for REsimpli, like I said, I was able to do the accounting space. I was able to bake in my KPIs and run those reports, which is very important if you're someone who focuses a lot on KPIs. The website integration tool was important for us. The clean look, I wanted a left to right look, and that's able to be provided now. And I
Right.
would tell anybody who is looking, I mean, like, give it a shot, right? You've got to figure out what you're looking for in a tool because the things that are important to me may not be as important to you. So for me to recommend someone if they're coming over on this side, I would say if you're coming from Podio to here, the other thing too that's super important is the community, right? That was another thing. I couldn't find a
Absolutely.
community of people who use the system. Now you have people who would create their own bills for Podio, but nobody was as a community, we're all speaking the same language. So with the RE
Right.
Simply community, you've got, multiple thousands of people in this room who all use the same product. So it makes it easy for us to communicate and talk about what they're doing versus what I'm not doing, or what how they're using the system versus what I'm not doing. And I think what happens is it doesn't have to get so crazy out of the loop where you're trying
Yeah.
to reinvent the wheel. It's just smaller tweaks
Yeah.
that you
I
just may not
feel
be using.
absolutely. You're so right about that, Jeremy. I feel like we notice this all the time. We have people that go to Podio, go high level, Salesforce, and come back because they're like, that's way too complex. And then you
Mhm.
just, it's like an endless cycle of what you can do versus recently it's like, hey, it's built for you. This is how we have people doing 25, 30, 40 deals a month using recently. And then they're just scaling their business on top of that. And we just keep adding more features to help, investors at rock level. So thank you for sharing your experience, Jeremy. Anyone
Yep.
who's listening to this wants to connect with you, learn more about your journey. What's the best way for them to do that?
They can tag me on Instagram. It's Mr. Smith 1911. It's MRSMITH 1911. Great way to get
Perfect.
me is on Instagram. So yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. We'll make sure we put a link to that. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for
Nope.
sharing your experience.
No problem. My pleasure.